Imagine folks are just reeling as they're just trying to patch themselves up emotionally.
Yeah, just something we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
We want to get right to Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. And Bobby,
1921.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, looking at this, especially we have the shoulders open now on I-4 and 75 to get people out, right?
Yep.
It just reminds me a lot of like Irma, right? That evacuation. But we breathed such a sigh of relief after that happened. You know, it didn't hit us.
Well, see, Irma went right up the middle of the state.
Right.
It was the largest evacuation in the state's history because initially Irma was going to go up the East Coast. So the East Coast folks said, we're out. Then the track changed and it was coming up the West Coast parallel to our coast. So the West Coasters said, we're out. And eventually it turned, went into Marco and went straight over Lakeland, south to north. So 6.5 million people evacuated. Guthrie thinks that they could probably get close to that with this particular one. And we don't have a lot of the East Coasters going like they did on Irma, but we've got a lot of the West Coasters, and we just got a lot more people here since 2017, to be honest with you. All right, so 180-mile-per-hour winds, just amazing. I know that's a crazy number. It's not going to be that strong by the time it gets here. That's the good news with that, but just incredible. The forecast now, you can see that turn that I was talking about. That will happen during the day tomorrow, and that will be key to this flip-flopping of the forecast. Once it starts making that turn, we're going to have a lot better handle on, did it turn early, so maybe it comes further north than its track towards us, or is it turning a little late and not as much, and maybe it goes a little further to the south of us, okay? That is tomorrow. Models are obviously still running now. Recon's out there, so we'll get the data. But certainly tomorrow, as we start to see that jog to the north, we'll start to see more of when that turn's going to happen. 125 to 130 at landfall. As far as the surge goes, it will be stretched out south of the center. This is not a case of Helene that went south to north and just gave everybody storm surge, right? The highest point is going to be around the center and just south. That southern eye wall, because that is the area. So if it comes in like this, the winds are going around like this, okay? And so what happens, they blow off up here, they blow in right into the bay. That's why this is so bad for us to come in right there, okay? If this goes further to the south, then you've got it here and you've got water blowing out of the bay. Big difference in 50 miles. That is a huge difference in that. The 12, let me back that up and I want to clear this out for you because I really want to get these tides in there. We're looking at basically this surge now being right around 10 to 15 foot for the Tampa Bay area, and that also includes Manatee and especially northern Sarasota counties, okay? Because you're going to be on the southern side of that if it comes in where it was. Now, further to the north, it's less, but initially there's a big bulge of water coming, and so that will get there, and we will have 5 to 10, it looks like now, on that part of it. So watches and warnings. You can see we basically are looking at the red, which is a hurricane warning for everybody. That means we expect hurricane conditions, 74-mile-per-hour winds or higher in our entire area. That's the forecast from the Hurricane Center. Here is a look at the forecast models. It went by real fast. I'm going to stop it and bring it back. Basically, they are in very good agreement. This is our forecast model. I stopped it here. This is around noon on Wednesday. That's when the heavier rain starts. It starts getting breezy, tropical storm force winds by that time. This is Wednesday night at 10 o'clock, almost 12 hours later, 10 hours later, right? The very heavy rain bands and wind are here. We will have a tornado threat Wednesday afternoon into the evening hours. That's 4 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. That's right over top of us. Notice where the heavier reds are. That's the heaviest rain that will be to the north of the center. And then as we move through Thursday at noon, it's pulling away. It's still breezy, but when things will be calming down at that particular point. So wondering, like, should you evacuate? I'll show you that. Generally, if you are asked to evacuate, you need to do so. If you live in a mobile home, you cannot stay there during this hurricane. Okay, you need to go to a friend's house with a more sturdy home. For more on those immediate impacts, county by county, here's meteorologist Colleen Campbell. Colleen.
Thanks, Bobby. Yeah, so getting into county by county, town by town, is going to call out a couple names here, but it's really the coastal areas going to be impacted the most. Citrus, Hernando, Pasco, we're starting up to the north and moving south. Late Wednesday into Thursday, timing is going to be pretty much the same for everybody. Winds 75 to 95 miles per hour. You're going to notice the surge is a little bit lower for Citrus County, but higher for Pasco and Hernando. These surge numbers are going to go up. So a couple areas, Pine Island, Sugar Mill, Woods, Crystal River, those are all areas you need to pay attention to. Moving into Pinellas and Hillsborough, those alerts probably going off on your phone. We have winds 80 to 115 miles per hour, surge 10-15 feet, rain 10 to 14 inches. Don't forget about the rain event as well. Again, most of the heavier rain will be north of the center. And moving down to Manatee and Sarasota counties, Anna Maria Island, they were asked to evacuate earlier this morning, but now pretty much everybody zones A, B. Again, 80 to 115 mile per hour winds, some hefty rainfall, surge 10 to 15 feet bumped up there also. We're going to catch you after the break.